Hello there. Let's talk about the story of David and Goliath and how that impacts you and your career. I'm not here to bore you because I'm sure you've heard that story gazillion times. And you're like, what does that have to do with me? What does that have to do with my career? A lot actually. And I will show you how this story impacts you and what you can take from the story of David and Goliath and how you can impact that on your career as you go in 2025. So I'll be reading from the book of First Samuel, chapter 17. I will not be reading everything. I'll just be reading some portions of the Bible and I'll be bringing out my lessons for you to take away. Okay, so we know the story of how David went to visit his brothers at the camp where they were fighting the Philistines. And when he got there, there was the case where Goliath came up and he was bragging against Israel. And he was asking Israel to produce someone that will fight him. And everybody was afraid of him because of how tall he was, because of how massive he looked, because of his physical appearance. Maybe he also had prior experience of always winning, and so people were just afraid. So, in your career, there will be those big problems that nobody wants to solve. Any organization, there will be those big problems that everybody just do not want to be associated with. There will be those big, ginormous projects that will tie people down for months and years, and people think that those projects, if you're on it, there is a high chance that you are not only going to waste your time, people are just going to forget you there. Oh, there is a massive issue nobody has the answers to. Okay, so that is the case here. There is this big Goliath problem for Israel, and nobody from the camp of Israel was willing to face him because of how he stood, because of his appearance, because of maybe prior victory experiences, because of his CV. Nobody just wants to face him. Now, I'll just read from where Goliath started talking. In verse 23, the Bible says, as he was walking with them, behold, the champion, it means he had history, the Philistine of God, named Goliath, was coming up from the army of the Philistines, and he spoke these same words again. It means he's been talking to them. So that problem is there, it's still there, it's still, shouting at you is there. That problem is in your face. You don't know how to solve it. That problem is in your organization. Nobody knows how to solve it. And David heard him. David, that's you. And David heard him. Verse 24 says, when the men of Israel all saw the man, they fled from him. Everybody ran away. And they were very frightened. In life, in your career, there will be those big, ginormous problems nobody is interested in. Nobody is interested in. And I will go to verse 26. Then David spoke to the men who were standing by him. What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and removes the disgrace from Israel, the constant taunting of Israel? Who is going to face this man? And what will be done to the man who faces this man? Now, there is a lesson I want you to take out of here. That if there is a big problem, the solution to that problem should naturally draw a reward. When there's a big problem, the solution to that problem should draw a reward. Now, when you as a solution provider in your world, in your environment, in your organization, feel empowered to ask for the reward for the work that you do. It is biblical for you to be paid for the work that you do. It is biblical for you to ask for the reward for the work that you do. It is not a sin to make money, to be wealthy, to be abundant. It is not a sin to gather. I need you to pay attention. I don't know what they will say if I go and ask for salary increase, if I go and ask for the promotion. You go and ask. Stop solving problems that have no reward. When you do something meaningful, ask. Now, the investment professionals, they said it the best. They higher the risk, they higher the return. They didn't tell us what the limit is. They said, as much as your mind can think, go and ask, go and do. If you can take the risk, if you know that it can go either ways and you are happy with it, the reward is going to be ginormous. So this is me telling you today that you should feel empowered to ask for the things that you want. You're solving the problem, you're showing up correctly, you're doing all the right things, you're doing more. Ask. Okay? For who is this uncircumcised Philistines that he has taunted and defied the armies of the living God? He understands the power that he carries. He understands the power of the God of Israel. So he understands that nobody should be taunting the army of Israel and should get away with it. He understands that if he puts himself forward, then the universe is going to be behind him to win. He understands that. That is simple stuff. So while others are running away because they do not want to go through the stress, of facing that problem, or they do not want to be killed, or they do not want to be in front of the fire, David understood that when he goes, he's not going alone. And you as well. The universe is behind you. God is behind you. Your family is behind you. You have resources behind you. You just need to come to the awareness that you are blessed enough to face those problems in front of you. Okay? 27 says the men told him that is what will be done for the man who kills him. Okay, so they told him what will be done to the man who kills him. Now, they've told him what it looks like if you win. So sometimes, if you don't know what the reward is, you may not be motivated enough to face the problem. So sometimes to get your motivation up, you need to be asking, what is the reward? So we're going into 2025 now. You have been sitting and doing that job year in, year out. You have been doing that job year in, year out. You know you should apply to other jobs. You know there are better opportunities for you outside. You know you're better priced in the market, but you chose to sit down on that job. Have you asked what your salary is going to look like if you venture out? Have you asked what your benefits will look like if you venture out? It may even be the case that where you currently are, you're sitting in an open pool. Maybe if you venture out, you get your own office, you get a higher position, you get your 6-figure, 7-figure, depending on what the issue is. You need to ask, okay? When you ask, it gets your motivation up. So today, go and check, what is my value in the marketplace? Go and look for those jobs that you absolutely qualify for. What is being paid to the people who get those jobs? Then that will motivate you to go and revamp your CV and apply for those jobs, okay? So let's go to verse 28, which I love so much. Now, Eliab, his oldest brother. Keep tab of the word oldest signifies experience, signifies common sense, signifies this is how things should be done, signifies conservatism, signifies do things in order. Now, Eliab, his oldest brother heard what he said to the men, and Eliab's anger burned against David, and he said, why have you come down here in the first place? Why are you here? So you want to go and solve that problem. Your immediate bosses, are you sure you know what you're doing? Your career coach is saying, I don't think you should do that. I think you should do this other thing. I think that's too much for you. Your colleagues are saying, are you sure you want to ask for that promotion? If you ask for that promotion and they don't give you, you will be shamed. Many things. People are talking to you. They don't do things like that here. Different things. Maybe even your spouse is telling you, maybe don't go into that business venture because you don't know how to do business. Because even if you know how to do business, this type of business doesn't generate profit, or whatever that is. People that signify common sense to you are telling you, why are you here in the first place? What are you doing here? What are you doing with this venture? Okay. With whom did you leave those few sheep in the wilderness? So David had is a shepherd with his few sheep. So in Eliab's mind, David is not more than the few sheep. So some people around you right now, they think you are not more than that your grade, that your role. They keep telling you you are not ready, you don't deserve it. You have not shown yourself qualified enough. You have not demonstrated those skills. You are still few. You are not there yet. Keep walking. Go back to your small perimeter of influence. Don't even venture to do this. People around you are telling you, go back to your circle of limitation. Don't come here. Go to your circle of limitation. Don't come here. Okay? Where have you left the few sheep to? I know your presumption, your overconfidence. The people are telling you, you are overconfident. People are telling you overconfident. And the evil in your heart, for you to have come down in order to see the battle. I know you are overconfident. I know you will come here. You talk too much everywhere. You want to show that you know. Only you are this, you are that, you are everywhere, you are always showing up, you are doing this, you are doing that. People are saying all of those things about you. But that's not your business. That looks like a damn problem. Has nothing to do with you. Okay? Obviously, David responded to him, what have I done now? And David turned away from him. Because David understood the power he carried. He understood that God was behind him. He understood that he also has a CV that can work here. And we're going to get there. Okay? If you look at verse 31, when the words that David spoke were heard, the men reported them to Saul. Now, you need to speak up enough and get to a point in your life where those who matter are hearing you. Your ambition should never be in doubt. Right there, as you're listening to me, you don't know how to talk. You don't know how to talk about the things you're doing. You don't know how to toot your own on. You don't know how to say, get up and say, I've done this before, I've done that before. You don't know how to ask for opportunities. Please do ask for opportunities. Open your mouth and ask for the things that you want. Open your mouth and contribute in meetings. When you go into meetings, contribute, talk. Before you know it, someone who hears you will take your matter and go and tell someone who is important enough to bring you to the decision-making table. But you need to talk. And Saul sent for him. David said to Saul, let no man's courage fail because of Goliath. Your servant will go out and fight the Philistine. He had enormous confidence. You need to demonstrate that confidence in your career in 2025, that you can do absolutely anything in front of you. You need to demonstrate that enormous confidence in your career, in your life, that anything in front of you that you cannot handle will not even be in front of you in the first place. Every single thing in front of you, you can handle. Okay? Now, then Saul said to David, you are not able to go against these Philistines and fight him, for you are a young man. And he has been a warrior since. So there is, if you're looking for an excuse why you shouldn't be doing the things that will change your life, you will find 100, a million excuses for you not to be doing the things that will change your life. Okay? But David said to Saul, your servant was tending. Now David is sharing his CV. David is sharing his CV. Look, I know that I have not been in these glamorous, skyscraper, beautiful New York office, Lagos office, Abuja office, London office, Cape Town office, Accra office, whatever. I've not been in this huge scenario before. But look at my CV. Look at my transferable skills. That's what David was saying. Look at my transferable skills. He said, but David said to Saul, your servant was tending his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and took a lamb out of the flock, I went after it. It doesn't go scot-free. So those times where David should have been chickening out, letting the lion and the bear take his father's goats and lamb and sheep, he did not allow it. He went after. And what is the lesson here? In that little corner where you are, do your absolute best to remain responsible for the things you're responsible for. Deliver results in your small corner. Make sure that, because it is the things you're doing in your corner that becomes the CV you use to get more advantage in the future. So don't say this job is small. I'm doing just operational roles. I'm not doing strategic things. This is just a clerical role. This is just an admin role. There, make impact. So that when they ask you, when you now have those bigger opportunities and you have to defend yourself and you have to show that you deserve, because this is a world where you have to show that you deserve an opportunity. People don't just drop opportunities on your lap. You need to have CV. So where you are right now that you're thinking, oh, I don't like it, from right about now, start delivering impact and result. Start focusing on your work, doing it well, because that is your CV for the future. Okay? And when it rose up against me, when the lion and the bear rose up against me, I seized it by its whiskers, struck it, and I killed it. Result, result, result. It doesn't matter the situation. There is always results. Okay? Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them. Since it taunted and defied the armies of the living God, listen. If you have done it before, you will do it again. This is just the same problem in another clothing. It's the same problem in another clothing. So while you're there thinking, I've not done this type of thing before, that's why personally, when I work with people, even on my jobs, when I work with people, I don't care whether you've done something before or not. As long as you have that attitude of, I can do it. Oh no, I've not done this before, but I'm happy to learn. Then you have my full backing. But if you're trying to tell me every time I've not done this before, so I don't want to try. I've not done this before, so I don't want to try. Then that's bad attitude, and you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow. That's bad attitude. Okay? So let's go to verse 38. Then Saul dressed David in his garment. This is another great one. Saul dressed David in his garments and put a bronze helmet on his head and put a coat of mail on him. Then David fastened a sword over his armor and tried to walk, but he could not, because he was not used to the armor of Saul. Look, by the time you change location and bigger opportunities are given to you, people will try to give you their own strategy. Whatever worked for you before can still work again. Don't reinvent the wheel. You don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel. You can build on it, but don't reinvent the wheel. Your strategy that brought you here can still keep you here if you continue to grow on your strategy, but don't take on another person's clothing. You are enough. You have dealt with this type of issue before. You will deal with it again using the ideas that you've been given, using the ideas of God, using the timing of God. You can do it again. Don't when you come into a new place, don't feel like you need to take on don't think you need to lose your authentic self. Remain yourself. Do things your own way. Learn and absorb, but don't lose yourself in the process. Okay? Because he was not used to them, we've talked about that. And David said to Saul, I cannot go with this. I can't. I just need to do myself. Because I am not used to them. So David took them off. Then he took his shepherd's staff in his hand and chose for himself 5 smooth stones out of the stream bed, and put them in his shepherd's bag, which he had, that is, in his shepherd's pouch. With his sling in his hand, he approached the Philistine. The way he approached the lion and the bear, the Philistine was just dressed in armory. He was just dressed differently from the lion and the bear. And David saw right through him. Okay? When the Philistine looked around and saw David. He was like, who is this one? That is how your enemies, those problems, that is how they will misjudge you. That is how they will misjudge you. They'll be like, who is this one? Where is this one coming from? Until you start talking. Once you open your mouth, once you start delivering, the people are like, they will misjudge you. Okay? And they don't know what you carry. That is why they will misjudge you. He derided and disparaged him because he was just a young man with a ruddy complexion and an handsome appearance. He saw a small, fine boy. Like, this one is for this one, and this one cannot know anything. This one doesn't look like a fighter. This one doesn't. This one does not have the appearance of a fighter. And that's how they are looking at you. The way you look, the way you appear. So they think about you. Even like just you, just your standing. People will look at you and just, because people judge the book by the cover every single time. So they will look at you and judge you. But you are ready and you have come by the God of Israel. You have come here. You have come with the power of God, and they will misjudge you. So you continue to go into those rooms as though God sent you there. Okay? 45. Then David said to the Philistine, you come to me with sword and a spear and a javelin, but I have come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have taunted. Okay? David put his hand into his bag and took out a stone and slung it, and he struck the Philistine on his forehead. The stone penetrated his forehead, and he fell face down to the ground. And that was it. Stop undermining yourself. The world is doing that already. Don't take that on. Stop undermining yourself. Go and ask, if I solve this problem, what am I going to get? Go and negotiate. Earn for the service that you deliver. Go with your own strategy that God has given to you in 2025. But make sure you're going boldly and you're asking for all the things that you can, asking for the things that you can get. Go boldly. And make sure where you are right now, as you're trying to seek bigger opportunities, you're delivering value. It is not the time when they want to ask for referral, recommendation, your recommendation letter. There's nothing to write home about. Make sure that you're delivering value in the corner where you are. Now, this is the story of David and Goliath and how it impacts you for your career in 2025. Look, there is so much we can do together in 2025. Make sure that you give this page a follow. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you like, share, comment, everything, because I want this to grow and I want many people to benefit from this. Make sure that you're also joining our paid community, where I will be supporting you throughout the year on your career. The links to join will be in the comment section as well. Make sure you're following me on all social media pages, Orelu Abukola on LinkedIn. And I guess I'll see you around. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the new year.